Hello everyone, today I'm talking to Philomena Schwab, although she told me to pronounce it however I like. I tried to pronounce it the European way and I'm sure failed miserably. Philomena, how are you today?
Fine, thanks.
Wonderful, excellent. And today's conversation is about community management, and I've seen Philomena doing a whole bunch of really great stuff on forums and Facebook groups that we're both part of, and just wanted to have a bit of a chat with you, Philomena, about what you've learned and what you've seen, and some tips and tricks for those of us out there who are maybe saying, oh, I know how to make games, but I don't really want to do this marketing thing.
I just recently joined a studio called Blindflug Studios in Zurich, and they released a game called First Strike like a month ago or something, and I joined them just a month before the smartphone release. So they released the tablet version of the game first and then wanted to do a follow-up, an update for the mobile devices.
You've got 50,000 downloads now at $4 each, which is pretty good. If you hadn't done any of that contacting the media or posting on forums or blogs, if you just said, we're going to put it onto the app stores and that's it, what's your guess on how many downloads you would have received?
Definitely a lot less, I think. Probably we could have made it to 5,000, 8,000 or something like that.
Yep. Cool.
That's
and
nothing.
thank you for putting a number on that. I know that's one of those like, I don't know. But this is...
But I really, a lot less.
And I think this would summarize my conversation with you today. I think for anyone who's watching and like, oh, I wonder what they did. Okay, they did the things that I've heard people talk about. You should do. I know that stuff. But I feel the really strong message here is: do you want your game to have 50,000 downloads? Do you want your game to have 5,000 or 8,000 downloads? So you're saying it could be 10 times as many downloads. So you're living proof that that actually makes a difference.
Yeah, and it's really important to start early, because the more people hear about it somewhere, pick it up somewhere, and will remember it somehow, talk about it somewhere to somebody, could be a really big profit to you. I did a lot of posts in different forums like the Unity forum or Tixors and things, and in different Facebook groups with the topic of mobile development. Yeah, and on Touch Arcade and stuff like that. I basically posted a lot of threads and saw if there was a discussion starting somewhere, and then joined in and talked to people.
And one of the things I teach is that I try to tell people, don't do me marketing. Me marketing is, hey, I've made a game. Hey, we're on Kickstarter. But you marketing is, here's something you might be interested in, or I've got a question for you, or let's have a conversation. What sort of messages or posts have you found have generated discussion and had people actually interested in participating?
I think the most discussions were always there where people were most concerned about what I posted. So if I posted something on marketing in a development group, they wanted to know why it was successful, what I did. Or you can post like in-progress screenshots, then people can relate to you because they are doing something. They have something in progress too. But if you just post something finished and don't really tell people what is special about it and why they should engage with it, then they probably won't respond to you. For example, the whole story about us giving money to charity, that this could be an approach to gain some attention, to do something good as you develop games. That was a topic that was discussed pretty much. I think it wasn't really the gamers who talked about the charity stuff. It was more of the news pages and other forums. That's true, gamers were not that interested in that. They were a lot more interested in our numbers, in our which countries we were successful in, where did we post the whole stuff, how much money we invested for marketing, what engine we used, how many people there are in our team, and how much time we spent. That's the things that were most interesting to indie developers.
what I like is when I go to the Google Play Store, because I'm an Android guy, and I check out the game itself, and I look at it, there's a whole lot of, this website said this, and this group of people said this, and, it seems like there's nominations and awards, and that kind of buzz gives me confidence that if I go and pay $4 or $5 for a game, then it's going to be pretty good because there's already credibility to it. How did you guys go about getting media attention? Is that something you've been doing, in the last couple of weeks, or you started a year ago, or you had some good friends who are journalists? What's been the overall strategy there?
But we started basically with people we knew from earlier projects and with small websites to just spread the word and hope that the bigger ones would pick it up then, which they did. And later on, we wrote to the bigger pages, to the medium pages. I can show you something actually that we used. We had this little DEF CON shield with dates on it that told us, for the whole team, that told us when we should write whom. And we used that to see, now we write to middle pages, now small ones, now we write to YouTubers, now we post in forums. That is what we use to arrange ourselves. We invested quite a lot of time in the whole thing. Like, we researched the big pages and looked at all the people that write there and picked one specific person that would be specifically interested in the topic. And then we looked at other articles he or she has written before, and then we could, in our mails, like, hey, we know you lately wrote a lot about FTL, you'd probably be interested in our game because it has a similar setting, because it's a real-time strategy game too. And like that we got quite some people to respond. But if we had just typed one message and sent it to everyone, I think a lot less people would have responded to that. Because then they just feel used. Like, I need them for my purpose and not I'm interested in what they do and give them something that I do in exchange. The team size is like 4 to 5 people. There's like 2 people in the core team and some are helping out with graphics and programming structure and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful message, that 2 plus a couple of people helping out for 4 or 5 months, and then a little bit of extra time to get onto the extra, from tablet to mobile, sorry, tablet to phone, results in 50,000 downloads at $4. It's like, you can do it. And a lot of people who are taking, a year to get there, you don't need to take a year. Condense it, get it out there, and go with it.
You can always release some updates if people are interested in it. Start small and then later update. I basically just paid a lot of attention to people who did it right, in my opinion. They post something, they get a lot of attention, and I ask myself why. Why was this so interesting, and how could I somehow adapt that to my own communication, just through observation, basically. Didn't do any course or big reading stuff, just observing your surroundings closely, and not just paying attention to games, paying attention to everything that gets attention for some reason. For example, lately I really like the whole Dropbox stuff they did to gain some more users with the students competition and things that really spread. It exploded. All things like that, with how do they put this little extra thing that makes people realize their product is there and they should probably use it.
And it's a little bit like when you talk about designing games, the great game designers say, don't just study other games, study life, study movies, study books, because you get influences from everywhere. So I like what you're talking about with Dropbox, which is what would get people talking about Dropbox? What would get people hustling to get other people to sign up? And then, what would get people to hustle about our game and get people talking about our game? So I really like that.
They should find some role models for themselves that they watch, that they learn from, that they might ask questions, and then adopt what they use to their own work. Always ask questions, always tell people.
Absolutely. So you're going to get 1,000 people now saying, hey, can you tell me how I do it? Can I speak with you?
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Lovely speaking to you. First Strike, I'm actually starting to play it now myself. Very excited to check it out. I'm a big fan of RTSs, so I'm a big fan of playing games on my phone as well, so I'm pretty excited. So thank you for putting that into my mind so I can go play the game. And I really appreciate you talking with us today. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you too.